Manora hamakom hazem, Manora hamakom hazem, Manora hamakom hazem, Manora hamakom hazeh. How awesome is this place? Ein zeh ki im beit Elohim v'zeh sha'ar hashamayim. This is none other than the house of God Almighty, and this is the gate of heaven. We begin each morning in gratitude. In gratitude for the restoration of our lives, of our souls, of our vitality. We say Modeh Ani. It's found on page 61 in our Siddur. I am full of thankfulness to you, Melech Chai V'Kayam. You are a majesty that lives and that endures. Shehechezarta bi nishmati b'chemla. And you have returned to my body, to me, my soul, with so much love and compassion. Rabba emunatecha. And so great is your faith in me that I might use my soul for holy and righteous purposes today. Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechezarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha Shehechezarta bi nishmati b'chemla Rabba Rabba emunatecha. And we have so much and so many to be grateful for and to be grateful to. Those who use their souls for the kinds of missions that God sends us out to accomplish. Modeh Ani by Brad Burston. This is what I told myself this morning. Whatever you're doing, stop a second. Take a long breath, deep. Take a breath and revel in it, just to decide that you're alive. Take a breath to give thanks. Ask, who is like unto this unknowable Almighty, who invented life itself and breath, and who created our true shields and swords, the health professionals who are the mightiest, if the most compassionate of angels. Thank you. By whatever name, who created and sent us and sustains these heroes, these champions who run marathons every single day to just do their jobs, which are to perform miracles. Most of all, take that long breath in honor of and in gratitude to the angels themselves, nurses, doctors, emergency medical technicians and ambulance crews, lab techs, orderlies and maintenance and cleaning staff, research scientists, epidemiologists, social workers, teachers, first responders, chaplains, those who make sure that we still have food to put on our tables, and for so many others, among them the parents suddenly at home with their children, running without training, without help, without grandparents, marathons of their own. all in an effort to save countless lives. Modeh ani, moda ani. If only you could hear me, how grateful I am for your faithfulness. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. 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 We scrub away any dirt, any germs that impede us in our mission. And then we dedicate ourselves to that sacred mission. Al natilat yadayim, to take hold of our hands and use them well. Use them for the right purposes that God has placed for each and every one of us in our own way to accomplish. With our hands, we take our talit, we take hold of this marvelous, simple, and yet so meaningful piece of fabric. Just a bunch of threads, but they're threaded together, and then they have tassels on their corners to remind us of all the sacred deeds that we are capable of accomplishing. This is a fabric of light. We say, Ma'yakar chazdecha Elohim, le'adam tzar knafecha yechesayun, yirviyun mideshen beisecha v'nachal adonecha tashkein. Ti'imcha mekor chayim be'orcha nireh or, shol chazdecha li'odecha v'tzidkoscha le'yishrei lev. How precious is your loving kindness, O God. We take shelter under your wings. We feast on the abundance found in your house. You give us drink from the river of your delight. For with you is the fountain of life. By your light do we see light. Grant your loving kindness to those who love you, and your righteousness to the upright in heart. Page 63 in our Siddur. We acknowledge to God that our souls that have been returned to us are pure. They are an essential gift from within God's own essence. The Torah tells us that God collected a mound of earth and made it in the shape of a human being, but that human being was still needing one more ingredient to come to life. That mound of earth was lifeless until God bent over and breathed from God's own self into our nostrils, and we became a living being. Nishmat Chayim Nefesh Chaya. Elohai Neshama Shenatata Bi Tehora Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi, tehorahi. My Almighty God, you are my God, and you put into me a soul that is pure, my soul, from you. That breathing, that breath, that neshama is clean and pure. The soul breath is from God. Our biological, anatomical reality lives in partnership and in tension with our spiritual being. Each of us is so concerned these days that we may come in contact with a breath that is noxious, with a breath that is dangerous. The physical breathing that we do is now so fraught with anxiety. And yet, there is a life breathing, which is life itself. It is the breathing which does not threaten life, but which makes life, which is life. That breathing is pure. We say, God, you are hamachazir neshamot lifkarim meitim. You restore breathing into dead bodies, into bodies that they themselves do not have the gift of life. But you give us that capacity, the capacity to breathe in the name of life. And we are grateful for that. Shabbat is a time of taking a deep breath. The word Shabbat is related to the word nashov. We say in an Israeli song, Haruach noshevet krira. The wind is blowing and it's chilling. The blowing of the wind is related to the word Shabbat. To breathe in and to breathe out. To take in the air, the gift of life from God, and then to exhale it again. Shabbat is full of life. The quiet of Shabbat, the quiet of our breathing, the invisibility of our breathing, the air that we breathe in and out. The invisibility is not an emptiness. It's life itself. Shabbat is a fullness of life, a fullness of breathing. The final psalm of the entire book of Psalms, we say, Kol haneshama tehalelia. Let the entirety of every breath be a praise for God. In our Siddur, it's found on page 100, the bottom of the page. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, Ele bekocho, hallelujah, birkia uzo, hallelujah, bigevurotav, hallelujah, kerov budlo, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, betei kashofar. Hallelujah, benevel vechinor. Hallelujah, betofu machol. Hallelujah, beminim veugav. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, betzilzelei shama. Hallelujah, betzilzelei trua. Kol anshama tehalelia. Hallelujah, kol anshama tehalelia. Hallelujah. There's a special psalm, of course, for every creature in the entire universe, and a special psalm for the day of Shabbat itself. Today is the Holy Shabbat. The Levites in the temple of old sang this song. It's on page 94 in our Siddur. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. This is the song of the Shabbat day. Tov lahodot l'Adonai u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. It is so good to give thanks to the Eternal and to sing to your exalted name. To tell everyone in the morning about your love, to tell ourselves about your love. Ve'emunatcha balilot. And to reaffirm how faithful you are as we reach the evening and the darkness. Tov lehodot, lehodot l'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimecha elyon. Tov lehodot, lehodot l'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimecha elyon. Lehagid b'boker chasdecha ve'emunatcha b'leilot. Lehagid b'boker chasdecha ve'emunatcha b'leilot. And the next psalm on the next page, 95, celebrates God's majesty as it is manifest in the world on this day of Shabbat when we can appreciate it. We say, Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishbreyam Adir Bamarom Adonai. God is higher and more exalted than the greatest crashing sounds of the world. The oceans storming and waves breaking. God is above that noisiness. The Shabbat, the simple breathing of God's Spirit over the face of the waters, is so much more powerful if we just listen for it. Mikolot mayim rabim, mayim rabim adirim, adirim mishbereyam, adir b'marom Adonai. If only I had the strength, I would go out to the market. I would call out and proclaim, this day is a Shabbat for God. Holy Shabbat, Holy Shabbat, Heilige Shabbos Lashem. Yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, ala la 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 la, ala la la la, ala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, la 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 la, ala la la, yala la la la, yala la 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 la, ala la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, a la 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 la, a la 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 la, ya la 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 la, a la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la. So this song, created by a rabbi in Israel, watching the exciting developments of the pioneers building up a new land. He said, if I had the strength, I would go out to the streets and the markets, and I would say, yes, of course this is holy. But let's not forget that Shabbat is also holy. We're in a time now where there are people who are saying, what about the markets? What about the markets? What about the economy? And they forget that Shabbat is holy too. They forget that the life breath that Shabbat sustains is the Holy of Holies. If there are no breathing, living, holy beings, there will be no markets. The markets are not first. The Shabbat comes first. The soul comes first. The breath comes first. Life comes first. And then we can look forward to living together, to breathing together, to working together in every way. Page 61, Age 63, I'm sorry. Areini mekabel alai et mitzvat haborei ve'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha l'reyacha kamocha. I hereby accept upon myself the divine commandment of my Creator to love each and every human being as I would love myself, to love their life, to love their living, to love the possibility that each of us can share this world equally. Hareini mekabel alai et mitzvat haborei ve'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha l'reyacha kamocha. The great love that God has showered down upon us has been carried forward from generation to generation. We're grateful for that gift of tradition, of passing down the love to us from those who came before us. They taught us how to love. They taught us how to live. Page 111. Ava rabba betanu Adonai Eloheinu chemla gedola v'teira chamalta aleinu Avinu malkeinu Bavur avoteinu shebatchu becha Avinu malkeinu Vatelamdem chukei chayim Kein techonenu tlamdeinu Avinu ha'av harachaman Merachem aleinu v'tein belibeinu lehavin ulehaskil lishmoa lilmodu lelamed lishmor velasod ulekayim et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha b'yahava. The next page, we chant sacred words that call upon us to be lovers, lovers of God, lovers of our family, lovers in our home and outside. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'otecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam ve'shivtecha ve'veitecha uve'lechtecha b'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Now we'll take a moment to breathe silently, to think, to feel, to pray silently on this day of breathing and holy silence, Shabbat. Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'ale kol Yisrael, ve'imru, ve'imeru, amen. Uyase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Uyase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. These weeks were meant to be weeks of celebration and rejoicing in our community, in person, of course. We can rejoice and we can be happy, each in our own place. Last week was Nathan Pendola's Bar Mitzvah Shabbat. Next week will be Ben Delaney's Bar Mitzvah Shabbat. And by some coincidence, this Shabbat is the anniversary of our own Baal Kriya, our own Torah reader, Andy Silkowitz's Bar Mitzvah. I'm not going to say how many years ago, but this is the Shabbat anniversary of his Bar Mitzvah. So when I read Torah, I think about the loyal service that he has been giving to us for so many years in reading the Torah so competently, so masterfully. I'm going to choose to read from the beginning of our Torah portion, which is on page 717 in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, chapter 21, verses 1 through 6 in our Torah portion. Leviticus chapter 21, verses 1 through 6. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, emor el hakohanim b'nei Aaron, v'amarta aleihem, l'nefesh lo yitama be'amav, ki im lisheiro hakaro beilav, l'imo uleaviv, v'livno ulevito uleachiv, v'lachoto ha'betula hakrova elav, asher lo hayta li'ish la yitama bal bi'amav leheichalo lo yikrechu korcha berosham ufe'ad zekanam lo yigalechu u'bibesaram lo yisrutu saratet kedoshim yihiyu le'elohehem ve'lo yichalalu shem Elohem ki et ishe Adonai lechem Elohehem heim makrivim v'hayu kodesh. Our Torah reading begins with instructions to the priests, and it severely limits their involvement in coming to take care of a dead person who needs to be buried with dignity and with love. Burial is a mitzvah in our tradition, a sad mitzvah, but a very, very essential mitzvah. And yet, the priests are told that they cannot just go to anybody's funeral, they cannot attend a burial in a cemetery for just anyone. The exception is their immediate family members. Only for them can they be involved in the burial, but a close friend, a relative that is not a direct, immediate, first step relative, only the immediate family members can be attended to by a priest. That can be a very harsh limitation. It's a limitation that many of us are experiencing tragically during these days. When loved ones, beloved friends, family members pass away, and many of us are precluded from attending to them in their last moments and in taking care of their burial in a loving and respectful way. We all are experiencing this terrible, difficult limitation that is a fact of everyday life for a priest. The explanation that the Torah gives in verse 6 is, "They shall be holy to their God, and they shall not profane the name of their God. For they offer the Lord's gifts, the food of their God, and so must be holy." So the Torah sets up a stark contrast between the holiness of the priests and the profanation of that holiness by coming in contact with death. Death is the cancellation of life. Life is the source of holiness. The priests have a holy job to perform. In the Torah's system, they are the ones who day and night labor in sacred service to God on behalf of the entire community. They must be in the shrine, in the sacred tabernacle, and in order to be in that sacred tabernacle, they have to maintain their ritual purity. That purity which is inside our souls, but not necessarily of our bodies. Our bodies are mortal. Our souls are eternal. Holiness reflects the eternal. So they're precluded from unnecessarily coming in contact with death. They have to learn to trust that other people in the community will be there for the deceased. They have to learn to believe that other people can do that work. And there's another type of work that only they can do. This is our challenge. Right now, each and every one of us is called upon to dig deep inside our souls, that place of purity and holiness, that life force that each of us has. And we need to trust that other people also have a life force and have a unique way of dealing with the world that was given to them, as we must discover what is that special, unique job that only we can do, that only we can perform. Other jobs, we trust, we depend on other people to perform. We could not live without the cooperation, the synergy of other human beings taking care of each other, taking care of us. What is our place in that economy of souls? What is our place that only we can occupy, and that we have to be so, so careful not to profane, not to betray, not to desecrate? In the prophetic reading for this Torah portion, the selection was made from the prophet Ezekiel, who had amazing visions of heaven, of God, and of the future temple that would be at the end of time, the new home for each and every one of us, and for the priests who would work in that sacred space. I want to read just two verses from the Haftarah. It's found on page 736 in our Eitz Chaim Chumash. Ezekiel chapter 24, verses 23 and 24. It reads as follows: They, meaning the priests in that new restored temple, they shall declare to my people what is sacred and what is profane, and inform them what is pure and what is impure. And in matters of judgment, it is they who shall act as judges. They shall decide them in accordance with my rules. They shall preserve my teachings and my laws regarding all of my times of meeting. And they shall maintain the sanctity of my Sabbaths. Ve'et Shabtotai Yikadeshu. It's our job to learn how to make distinctions, to know that some things are profane and other things are holy. So many of us have learned the lesson so well. It's a basic, essential lesson, that holiness resides in our interpersonal relations. As we had in our Torah reading last week, V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, v'ahavta lo kamocha. Love your neighbor, love the stranger, just as you love yourself. That's an essential part of holiness. But Yechezkel reminds us at the end of these words, Ve'et Shabtotai Yikadeshu. Holiness is not only in the interpersonal. There are realms that go beyond each and every one of us as individuals, or in our societal needs as we perceive them. The Holy Shabbat calls out to us from beyond ourselves. We can embrace Shabbat. Shabbat depends on us sanctifying Shabbat. But Shabbat is calling us to a dimension that goes beyond just the interpersonal. Shabbat is sacred in and of itself. How shall we sanctify our Sabbath days? That's a question that the prophet asks us, and it's a question that this moment in time, in our collective present history, is asking us again and again. Where does Shabbat fit in our picture of life? How can Shabbat, the quiet, the restorative, the sacred silence of Shabbat, what place does it have in our lives? Can we make a place for that? Are we going to be able, as we restore ourselves to full functionality, to the full vitality and vibrancy of life, we also make space for Shabbat. Prayer for those who are ill. I'll stop after the first stanza so we can put into our kavanah, into our intention, into our prayer, the names of those we hold dear to us, who we wish for a speedy recovery. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mekora habracha le'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imoteinu mekor habracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelehima, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We pray that the Rabbanu Shalom grant a refuah shlema, complete and speedy recovery to all those who are suffering. And may God bless their caregivers with good health and with hearts full of strength and courage and wisdom and understanding to be able to do everything possible and everything necessary on their behalf. We all say Amen. Finally, I'd like to recite a psalm, Psalm 30. In our Siddur, it is found on page 81. I offer this translation by Pamela Greenberg, a song for the dedication of the house by David. Mizmor Shir Chanukat HaBayit LeDavid. I will raise you in praise, my solace, for you have drawn me up. You have not let my enemies rejoice in my ruin. God, my physician, I cried to you for help and you healed me. My preserver, you lifted my soul from death, kept me alive during my plunge into the pit. Let those who love God sing out to the source of life and be thankful for memory of the holy. For your anger lasts only a moment. Your will is in favor of life. At night I went to bed weeping, and in the morning a cry of joy. I have said in my contentment I will never stumble. God, only by your resolve do I stand on mountains of strength. When you hide your face from me, I am confounded, confused. To you, God, I cry out. To my upholder, I plead for compassion. What profit is there in my death, in my descent to destruction? Will the dust be thankful to you? Will it proclaim the light of your truth? Hear me, God, and show compassion. My upholder, you have always been my source of help. You changed my mourning clothes to dancing. You loosened my sackcloth and covered me with joy, so that my depths might sing out to you and never be stilled. God, my help, I will spill out gratitude to you forever. God of all spirits, in whose hands are the souls of the living and the dead, turn today in love and compassion to our prayers, the memory of our beloveds. We want to give our condolences to Leon Berman on the loss of his mother, Frances, and to all those who are in mourning. And we pray, please remember all the loving kindness and good that they did in the land of the living. Grant them perfect rest under the sheltering wings of your presence and bind their souls in the bond of life. It is clear to you, compassionate Mother in heaven, that it is our wish to declare your holiness within the community and to say the words of the mourner's Kaddish, Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shomrei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei, v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv, v'yimru amen. Yehei Shomrei Rabbah mevarach li'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei d'kudisha b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. It has been impossible to say these words in community in light of our difficult circumstances. So please accept our prayers and our intention, and for the sake of your great name, send healing and salvation to the world. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat